positive day. Property regeneration planning, key issues in terms of how the UK economy is going to grow over the next decade or so post-pandemic. I think you've heard speakers talking about the issues that really do matter to business, whether it be Lord Adonis and the emphasis he was placing on HS2 and infrastructure, or Gary Neville, who spoke about the importance of ensuring that government understands business, understands people, and that we actually take the country forward in a united fashion.
I think obviously it's great to get our messages across as a city, but it was also great to be part of that panel with Deborah, Joanne and Richard, talking about cities collectively and the role of cities going forwards, and to hear those different perspectives, but with some really, really strong themes between all of them. And when you do that as a collective from those different places, I think that resonates much more strongly with the business community than perhaps just getting a Liverpool view or just getting a Birmingham view, etc.
Well, because I think we've got a lot of strengths and commonality. So business don't work in geography, do they? They work where the networks are and where the talent is. So there are elements where we compete, but that's a small percentage of the work that we do really. Really, we're about making the case for investment in cities, for jobs in cities, for connectivity between these cities. And I think that's particularly strong when you talk to the northern cities, which is why you will have a very strong Liverpool-Manchester axis.
I'm massively excited to be here at Talking Bout Regeneration, and Downtown in Business have done a fantastic job to pull this off so soon after unlocking the country. And the reason I'm really excited to be here is because there's lots of other big hitters, and there's lots of other people who we can share knowledge and ideas with and reconnect with again, and find new ways of doing things in the new world that we're in, and to share new hopes, ideas, ambitions and thoughts as to innovative ways of creating great new places, great new cities, great new towns.
So cities aren't hermetically sealed bubbles, and it's really important for us around connectivity. It's around making sure we have appropriate supply chains. So if Birmingham want to be the powerhouse of green manufacturing, there are other places in the UK that will supply the materials and the skills and the innovation and the R&D. So we are very collaborative as a set of cities, but we also appreciate and understand the need to work in collaboration, but also acknowledge the interdependencies that all of the cities have. And of course the glue to all of that is transport.
So I was on the art of placemaking panel, and I felt a little bit like a fraud because I promote places rather than make places. But it was a really great panel to be on, full of architects, developers, and actually operators. So it's all the people that design the places, build the places, and then run the places and promote the places. And in actual fact, it's all about collaboration. And it was a really interesting discussion, and just glad to be here.
Well, we had a lively discussion about London and the rest of the UK, and whether we needed London to recover for the UK to recover. And the consensus was yes, absolutely, but we don't really know what London's recovery looks like. Because as a metropolis that was densely populated, with more people increasingly choosing to live out of London and commute into London for maybe a day or two a week, with future working patterns, we don't know how much London will recover, how quickly, and whether or not the same model is the right one going forward. So that was really interesting, and I have to say, I'd never thought about the issue in quite the same way.
I'm happy to be here. I would always come in person. Zoom is not for me. You have to be here. Emotion, spirit, collaboration, creativity. It's all about being person to person. Yeah, there are things that we can do face to face, that we can do by technology via Zoom and competently. But I think if it's really important that you're addressing people, speaking to people, meeting with your team, creating something special in your office or in a sports team, you have to be there.
So can you just give us a little bit of a background on what you're going to speak about in your keynote speech?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I haven't got a clue what I'm going to speak about, because it's whatever Frank asks me. He might ask me to slag off the government, he might ask me to talk about football, he might ask me to talk about property, who knows?
If you enjoyed that video, then please subscribe to our YouTube channel on the link below and be among the first to get to listen to all the latest interviews through the Downtown Den.